Hey, it's Tara, your yoga bestie, and I got a great class for you today. Starting out a new theme for 2026. So we'll be going through the yamas and niyamas, but we're going to start out with the first of the yamas, which is ahimsa, or often talked about as non-harming, but I like to think of things in a more positive way, so how we can bring in kindness. We don't have any props that we're using in particular, but if you have any that you like, I love to have my blocks. Feel free to have them. And start out however you want to, seated, reclined, child's pose, whatever sounds best to you. And as you make your way into that space, just kind of settle in, and then we'll close our eyes as we start to tap into our ujjayi breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Taking this time to connect with our breath, it'll be our energy source throughout our practice. So as we inhale, we'll feel the space right below the navel start to lift. As it draws upward, feeling an expansion through our bellies, the side bodies, the rib cage, and our breath draws all the way up to where it lifts the collarbones. And then as we exhale, we're going to feel our belly button draw in towards the spine, allowing us to use all three parts of the lungs. This is my buddy Lionel, so he might be showing up and giving us little cameos throughout. But while you're tuning into your breath, we will be I'll start to talk about ahimsa, or how I like to think of it is choosing kindness over force. So that's kind of the way I'm going to be defining it throughout the time that we're talking about it. The yamas are how we show up in the world. So the yamas have more to do with your own personal self, but we're going to talk about how we show up in the world. But just because of that, it doesn't mean just outside of us. It also means what's going on with us. So not just don't hurt people, but don't be violent to yourself either, because if we can be kind to ourselves, we're going to be much kinder to those around us. So however we treat ourselves is often shown up as how we interact with others. We're going to be setting boundaries. We're going to be speaking kindly of ourselves. And listening before forcing is about checking in before you push, not after something has already taken place, for like that whoops moment, but actually listening to your body, breathing with your body, being completely present with your body so that you can determine how much you need in that moment. So we're listening first, not afterwards. So again, our kind of theme throughout today with ahimsa will be listening before forcing. On our next inhale, let's find some movement. So if we're on our backs, it could be a full body stretch. If we're in a different position, just whatever movement sounds good in this moment. And then either from a reclined space or from an upright seated position, we'll all bring our hands together at our heart center, our Anjali Mudra, as we set our intention for our practice. And maybe that intention is using ahimsa and listening before forcing. You can also think of it as choosing kindness over force, or whatever else comes to mind that speaks to you in this moment. Please honor that. And we'll take another big breath in here. Exhale, let it go. Yeah, and from here, we're going to meet in a tabletop position. So we'll just come onto our hands and knees. Can find some movements, maybe some lateral movement from side to side or some cow movement. Just kind of checking in with the body. Eventually making our way into a child's pose with our toes tucked under, getting a nice little stretch in the feet, maybe finding a little bit of a wiggle from side to side. And then making our way into our first down dog of the practice. And you can take your time here, but maybe keep a bend in the knees as you draw that tail up towards the ceiling. Maybe start to find a little bit of movement from side to side here. You might start to bicycle the legs right away, letting that head relax as you gaze past the legs. Full breath in. Exhale. And then we'll walk our hands all the way to the back of our mat. So we'll come into our forward fold here, where we might reach for opposite elbows or bring the arms behind the back. You can also walk your hands from side to side if that's preferred, just kind of checking in with how the body feels along those sides. Couple breaths as we inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. And as we exhale, releasing the arm variation we have, we'll start to bring our feet in towards one another. You can soften those knees as we roll all the way up to standing, working those shoulders all the way up, back, and down. And then let's inhale, reaching those arms up overhead, gaze lifts. Exhale, coming into our forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen halfway. As we exhale, plant the hands, walk it all the way forward into your plank pose. We'll exhale, lowering either all the way onto our bellies, or maybe we hover into this chaturanga. And then we'll inhale either into our cobra or maybe up dog if you're ready. And we exhale into our down dog, lifting up those hips. Full breath in. Exhale. Let's do that again. So we'll inhale, shifting it forward. Exhale, we slowly lower. Inhaling into our cobra or up dog. Exhaling into our down dog. And then let's bend those knees a lot like we're about to take off for a race. We'll gaze forward as we make our way to the front of our mats. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Let's roll all the way up. As soon as we come to the front of our mat, go ahead and bring your right foot to the front and left leg behind. So you might even step off your mat as you come into this. So we're in a cross-legged position. We're going to reach for our left wrist as we lean over towards the right, breathing into that side body. Just kind of checking out that space along the side. And you can keep your gaze straight ahead or you might gaze to the side. Inhale. Exhale. And then we come back to center, take a little step forward with that right foot as we move into warrior 3. So we're going to come into running arms where we bring the left arm forward and the left leg back at the same time. Think about lifting up through that right quad muscle as you shift your weight forward. Big breath in. And then on our exhale, big bend in that knee, soft landing. Our left toes are going to face the side of the mat as we set up for sky archers. So it's kind of like we're coming into a reverse triangle pose. And we can reach for that right wrist here. Inhale. Exhale, gaze towards your back foot. We're going to come into our warrior 2 facing the back. So maybe those palms face up here. And pro tip, we're going to be coming to the back anyway. So if you know you like your blocks or any props like that, go ahead and place them to the back. There we go. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down, and we're in our runner's lunge, or we'll start to shift forward and back from runners to a pyramid-like pose, just moving at the pace of your breath. Really nice. Next time that we shift it forward, hold it here in this runner's lunge. We're going to do a little ninja kick to come onto our seat. So push into the blocks or into the floor, lifting up that back leg and bringing it all the way through. And then we can hug this knee in as we twist towards the side, maybe using that elbow as leverage, lengthening through the crown of the head as we inhale. Exhale, belly button to spine, maybe going a little bit deeper. Full breath in. Exhale, and then switch sides. So right hand is going to come down, left arm reaches up as we come onto the ball mound of that foot, setting up for our wild thing. So maybe finding some movement here. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, gaze to the front. Take a big step forward with that left foot, and we move into our eagle pose. So right leg will be on top. Right arm will be underneath. Maybe you have your toe there. Maybe you're reaching for opposite shoulders. Maybe you have space to wrap the foot around the calf and wrap the arms around each other as you work those shoulders down and elbows away from the chest. Big breath in. On our exhale, we're going to lift up that right leg and bring it behind as we come all the way onto our seat. And then we'll come all the way onto our back, setting up for some eagle abs here. So left leg is on top, which means left arm will be underneath. And as we inhale, we find that length. Exhale, we bring it to center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Nice. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we'll find a spinal twist, so we'll let the legs fall over towards the right. Might have that left arm out as you gaze past those fingertips, just allowing the body to surrender into the floor, into the mat. Inhaling. Exhale. And then bring your gaze to center. Bring your legs to center, and we'll rock it all the way up to our mountain pose, where we'll go right to the other side. So left foot is going to step forward, right leg can step back, reaching the arms up overhead, maybe finding that right wrist as we lean in towards the left. Full breath in. Exhale. And then coming back to center, step that left foot forward and then move into warrior three. So right arm is forward, right leg is back as we flex through that foot. Shifting our weight towards the ball mound of our left foot so that we feel that engagement in the core. Inhale. Exhale, step it back, sky archer. So right toes face the side of the mat as we reach for that left wrist and lean it back. Big breath in. Exhale, gaze towards your back foot. Pivot your toes to the back for your warrior two. Maybe palms face up to help relax those shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down for your runner's lunge. So if you had those blocks there, they're there for you again. And we'll start to shift forward and back in this space, just breathing into the back of the leg. Next time that we shift it forward, we're moving into that ninja kick. So really push into the mat as you lift up that back leg and bring it all the way through. And then we'll twist towards the right. So we can either hug that knee in or use our elbow as leverage. Inhale, finding that length. Exhale, maybe going a little bit deeper into this space. Full breath in. Exhale. And then we'll switch it out. So when we go to the other side, left hand comes down, right arm is going to reach up as we come onto that ball mound of the foot for our wild thing, maybe finding some movement here. Inhale, we reach it up. Exhale, gaze to the front. Big step to the front with that right foot. So we're moving into our eagle pose. So left leg is on top, left arm comes underneath, finding your version as you sit it back into that heel. Big breath in. Exhale, left leg comes behind, so we come all the way onto our seat, and then we're moving all the way onto our back. So once we come here, right leg is on top, so right arm is underneath as we find that eagle pose on our backs, finding that extension. Exhale, bring it to center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Nice, we'll bring it in for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, bring it in, and then we'll move into that twist. So letting the legs fall over towards the left, maybe gazing past your right fingertips here. Big breath in. Exhale. And then we'll bring our gaze and our legs to center. We'll start to rock and roll all the way up to our mountain pose. And then from our mountain pose, let's reach those arms up, gaze lifts. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. Hands plant as we step or float it back. Lowering or hovering. Inhaling into your cobra or up dog. Exhaling, down dog. And let's take a full breath in here. Exhale, softening those knees. We gaze forward as we step or float. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward. Let's reverse all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthening. Hands plant as we make our way to our down dog. So know that you can always skip one of these vinyasas. You can skip all of them. We always meet in the same place. Take your full breath in. Exhale. And then softening those knees, we gaze forward as we step or float. Inhale. Exhale, forward. Once more, we'll come all the way up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen, hands plant as we make our way to our down dog or any resting position of choice. How you doing? That's our warm-up for today. So if you're new to my class, we do 2 main sequences. We pull poses from the warm-up in. I call it peanut butter and jelly are the names of my sequences. And we do those 3 times. First time a little bit slower, and then we move more at breath pace the next 2 times. And then at the end, we bring those 2 together for one delicious peanut butter and jelly sequence sandwich, which is my favorite part of the practice. And yours too, because it's the end. All right, so today we are starting out in our down dog. And as we do, keeping that idea of listening before forcing, choosing kindness over force, our Ahimsa, just kind of keeping that in mind. So truly, truly listening to our bodies. As we inhale, let's lift up that right leg and we'll open up the hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling, working that left heel down. Stay or start to make some circles going in one direction, going in the other direction. And then as we inhale, we straighten that leg. Exhale, knee draws to nose as we bring it all the way through for our runner's lunge. And we're moving into that ninja kick. So we're lifting up that back leg and bringing it all the way through as we come onto our seat. And then we go right into wild thing. So left hand is down, right arm is up as we lift it up, lifting up those hips, lifting up the gaze. And then this is where we change. As we exhale, we gaze the back. We still take that step forward with the right foot, but we're moving into dancing Shiva. So as we lift up, we're twisting towards the other side. You can have your hand to the outside of that knee or your foot, or maybe you just kind of work that leg straightish. Big breath in. Exhale, step it back for goddess. So heels in, toes out. Hands could be at heart center, could have goalpost arms. Maybe find a little bit of movement here this first time, kind of getting used to this feeling as we bring our weight into the heels here. Big breath in. Exhale, and then gaze to the front of your mat. Now we move into eagle pose. So right leg is on top, right arm comes underneath as we sit it back into that heel. Full breath in. Exhale. And then we'll release that. Moving right into our other side. So left leg lifts. We'll open up that hip, holding it here, or making those circles, going in one direction, going in the other direction. Inhale, we straighten. Exhale, knee draws to nose as we bring it all the way through for that runner's lunge. And we move into that ninja kick right away. So we pick up the back leg and bring it all the way through onto our seat. Right hand is down, left arm reaches up as we move into wild thing. Lifting up those hips. Exhale, gaze to the back, left foot steps forward, and then we come into dancing Shiva, the other direction. So finding your version of this, whatever feels right to you. Keep pushing into the foot as you lengthen through the crown of the head. Inhale. And then as we exhale, step it back, goddess. So heels in, toes out. Maybe find some movement. Check in. Big breath here. Exhale, and then face the front. Left leg is on top. Left arm is underneath as we come into that eagle pose, sitting it all the way back into our heel. Inhale. Exhale, step it back. This time maybe move through a vinyasa because we'll start to pick up the pace on this now. So from our down dog, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through. Inhale, we push into the mat to lift up the back leg. Exhale, it comes all the way through ninja kick. Inhale, right arm up. Wild thing. Exhale, gaze to the back. Big step to the back. And then we inhale, moving into our dancing Shiva, whatever version you like. Exhale, step it back. Goddess pose. Full breath in here. Exhale, gaze to the front. Right leg is on top. Right arm is underneath as we inhale into our eagle pose. Exhale, release. And we go right to the other side. So we'll inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through. Inhale, pushing to the mat. Exhale, we bring that leg all the way through. Right hand down, left arm up as we inhale, wild thing. Exhale, gaze to the back, big step to the back as we move into our dancing Shiva. Inhale. Exhale, step it back, goddess. Take a full breath in here. Exhale, gaze to the front. Left leg is on top. Left arm is underneath as we move into our eagle pose. Inhale. Exhale, we'll release. And maybe take that vinyasa because we've got one more round of this. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through. Inhale, push. Exhale, lower. Inhale, whoops, wrong way. Inhale, wild thing, right arm up. Exhale, gaze to the back to step it back. Inhale, dancing Shiva. Exhale, moving into our goddess. Full breath in here. Exhale, gaze the front. Right leg is on top, right underneath as we come into our eagle pose. Inhale. Exhale, step it back. Left side, so inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through. Inhale, we push into the mat. Exhale, we bring that leg through. Right hand down, left arm up as we inhale, wild thing. Exhale, gaze the back, big step to the back. And we inhale, dancing Shiva. Exhale, step it back for our goddess. Take a big breath in. Exhale, gaze forward. Left leg is on top. Left arm is underneath for that eagle pose. Inhale. Exhale. Option to take that vinyasa. And we find down dog or any resting position of choice. How you doing? I hope you're doing amazing. I think you're doing amazing. That is peanut butter. For jelly, we're going to start out in mountain pose. So get what you need. Drink of water, towel off. Just check in with the breath. Maybe close your eyes for a moment and check in. And we'll meet at the front of the mat, keeping that idea in mind of listening instead of forcing. So still continue to listen to what your body needs. Check in with your body. And then from this space, it's jelly time. So right foot is forward, left leg comes behind. As we take hold of that left wrist, we lean it in towards the right. Big breath in. Exhale. And then we come back to center, step that right foot forward. Warrior 3 with those running arms. So left arm forward, left leg back. As we exhale, big step back, sky archer. So we reach for that right wrist as we lean it back. Inhale. Exhale, gaze towards your back foot. Pivot your toes so we're coming into warrior 2. This is just a transition to come into our side angle. And from that side angle, you might have a block there. Maybe you bring that right arm behind your back, working to partial bind. If you have a strap or a towel, you could have that in your right hand to help find the bind, bringing that left arm underneath. Or if you don't need it, the most important aspect is that you're sitting back into the pose, so opening up through the chest. You can stay here, but I'm going to request, particularly if you have the bind in some capacity, to make your way to the back of your mat for a bound forward fold where your gaze will start to go up towards the ceiling past your right shoulder. You also have the option of moving into bird of paradise so the feet can come together and we can start to lift up. Maybe we even start to work that left leg straightish. Totally up to you. But here's the thing. The reason I'm asking you to come to the back is because we will all meet in forward fold. So if you're like, cool, I'm going to be in forward fold for a while, that's totally fine. Listen to what you need. Let that go. And then we'll roll it up. Left leg, our left foot is forward, right leg is behind. As we reach for that right wrist, taking that side body stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Coming to center, left foot steps forward. Warrior 3, right arm forward, right leg back. Inhale. Exhale, step it back. Sky archer, reaching for that left wrist as we lean it towards the front of our mat. Exhale, gaze towards your back foot. Warrior 2 to the front. and we go right to side angle. So again, maybe having a block here. If you're going the bound route, you could always have a towel or a strap in your left hand as you bring it underneath, sitting back into it, opening up through the chest. If you have your bind in particular, see if you can bring your feet at the front of the mat. It doesn't matter how many steps it is. And if you're coming into this forward fold variation, maybe gaze up towards that left shoulder. If you want to play around, maybe come on the ball of that right foot, lifting up for bird of paradise. Another option that you might like is coming into a bound half moon. So the closer your feet are towards one another, the easier that's going to be. So then shift your weight into your right foot here, and then start to play with lifting up the left leg as you bring your head forward so that you can kind of counterbalance that. See, as soon as I started to go a little bit too far, you can see how that counterbalance immediately brings you into this position of wobbling and falling out of it. But don't worry, we're not going to pick up the pace. So if you want to play, please do play. But if you are not feeling it, then we're just going to go right on through. So right foot is forward, left leg is back, reaching for that wrist as we inhale. Exhale, lean over to the side. Inhale, come back to center, step that right foot forward, moving into that warrior three. Nice, big breath in. Exhale, big bend in the knee as we come into sky archer. Inhale. Exhale, gaze towards the back. Pivot your feet for that warrior two to our side angle, finding your version. And then we meet in our forward fold, the back of our mat. Maybe we have a bind, maybe we don't. Doesn't matter, we'll all release it. And then we'll roll it up to standing. Left foot forward, right leg behind. Inhale. Exhale, lean it over to the side. Inhale, come back to center, left foot steps forward, and we move into our warrior three. Full breath in. Exhale, step it back. We inhale, sky archer, reaching for that left wrist. Exhale, gaze the back. Inhale into our warrior two, going right into our side angle, finding whatever we want to find. And then we move into that forward fold at the front of our mat. Let it go. Roll it up. Right foot forward, left leg behind. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, leaning over to the side. Inhale, come to center, right foot steps forward. And then we move into that warrior three. Exhale, step it back. Inhale, sky archer. Exhale, gaze to the back. Inhale, warrior two to our version of side angle. And then we bring our feet to the back and we find our forward fold. Roll it up, left foot forward, right leg behind as we inhale, reaching for that right wrist. Exhale, lean it to the side. Inhale to center, step it forward, and we move into warrior three. Exhale, big step back. Inhale, sky archer. Exhale, gaze the back. Inhale, that warrior two to our side angle. And then on our exhale, we make our way to the front of our mat in our forward fold. How we doing? Guess what? We made it to my favorite part of the practice. It's peanut butter and jelly time. So, get what you need. We will meet in down dog. And as you come into down dog, we're choosing kindness over force and listening before forcing. So we're practicing our ahimsa. So take a big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through, runner's lunge. We push it into the mat as we bring that leg all the way through for our ninja kick. And then left hand down, right arm up as we inhale, wild thing. Exhale, gaze to the back. Big step to the back. Inhale, dancing Shiva. Exhale, step it back, goddess. Full inhale. Exhale, gaze to the front. Right leg is on top. Right arm is underneath for our eagle pose. And then this is really cool. Move into jelly. We just bring that right leg behind and we reach for the right wrist as we lean it to the side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, step that left foot forward. We come into warrior three. Exhale, step it back. Inhale, sky archer. Exhale, gaze the back. Warrior two to our side angle, maybe finding our version. And we meet at the back of our mat in our forward fold, which means the first side is done. So if you want to move through a vinyasa here, feel free to do so, or make your way to down dog however you like. Big breath in here. Exhale. Let's do this. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through, runner's lunge. We push into the mat as we pick up the back leg and bring it through. Ninja kick. And then right hand down, left arm reaches up. Wild thing. Exhale, we gaze forward. Take a big step forward with that left foot. And we move into our dancing Shiva. Exhale, step it back. Goddess. Inhaling here. Exhale, gaze to the back of your mat. Left leg is on top. Left arm is underneath as we move into our eagle pose. And then that fun transition comes back where we pick up the top leg, bring it behind. And we'll reach for that left wrist as we lead it in towards the right. Inhale, coming back to center. Right foot steps forward as we find that warrior three. Exhale, step it back. Inhale, sky archer. Exhale, gaze to the back. Warrior two legs where we find that side angle in whatever version we like. And then we meet at the front of our mat in our forward fold. You did it. If you want to move through one last vinyasa, go for it. Otherwise, we'll make our way to a seated position where we'll just check in for a moment, maybe close the eyes, slowing down the breath, determining if there's anything else that we might want from our practice that's upright. It's a great time to do that if that's the case. Otherwise, maybe you end in a seated meditation or come into a reclined space where you might finish up your practice and come into Shavasana. So a few moments just to listen to what you need, slow down the breath, connect with that inner energy of yours. And as we make our way into our final space, taking a moment to have so much gratitude for showing up to your mat today, so much gratitude for the work you put in, and so much gratitude for this feeling, which is a result of those things. And be so proud of yourself because you did amazing. Know that I'm so very proud of you. Now just allow your breath to be soft and your body to be still as we come into Shavasana. As always, feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you want to. Otherwise, if you're ready, you can start to bring in small movements, maybe getting a nice full body stretch as you roll to one side. Or we are in seated position, which is where we'll all meet, where we bring our hands together at our heart center, our Anjali Mudra, and tuck our chin under. And I just want to thank you so very much for joining me in practice today. I want to thank you for choosing kindness over force and also listening before forcing or practicing your Ahimsa today so that you can take it with you as you leave the mat. And until next time, Namaste.